Alright, Shalom. This is YAHAWAH with the GMS Dallas camp. First off, I'm going to give all praises to Yahawah, HaShem, YAHAWASHI. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach me well. And salutations to the Akim scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, keep his word truth and sincerity. Now, I'm just going to do a video going into, pretty much Christopher Columbus and and what he really did coming over to the Americas, right? Because history, Esau's history will tell you that Christopher Columbus was the one that discovered America, when in reality he never set foot in America. If you look up the history and where he really landed, it was like it was a place that we know today as the Bahamas. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you a map real quick. See, so if you look at you can go to Google Maps. You go to Maps, you can see here Spain, which was where he came from. And then if he took that route all the way down this way, down to the Bahamas and these islands out here. All right. Now, if you read this article right here, it says 1492, Columbus makes landfall in the Caribbean. All right. And it says this map is the earliest definitive depiction of the Americas by a European. It was drawn by Juan de la Cosa, a cartographer who accompanied Christopher Columbus on the first voyage to what would soon be known as the New World. De la Cosa was also the owner of the Santa Maria, the largest ship in Columbus' small fleet. Okay, now look, it says on October 12, 1492, Italian explorer Christopher Columbus made landfall in what is now the Bahamas. Columbus and his ship landed on an island that the native Lucayan Taino people called Guanahani. Alright? Columbus renamed it San Salvador. No one is quite sure where Guanahani, San Salvador is. Columbus describes the islands as very flat with very green trees, a very large lake in the middle. That describes hundreds of islands and atolls in the Bahamas. Columbus isn't even clear if Guanahani, San Salvador is a single island or a small archipelago, right? So it could have been anywhere around this area, you know what I'm saying? All right, but it was never it was never over here, you know what I'm saying? According to what Esau history tells you, because if you don't really look these things up, man, you're not gonna know. So people think that Christopher Columbus literally came over to America, or what is today known as America, and discovered it, even though it was already inhabited by other people, man. And that other people being the nation of Israel. But according to the scriptures and according to history, they were going off. You know what I'm saying? Which is why the Most High brought them Edomites over from Spain and put them in that captivity, man, and destroyed them for all that wickedness and all the all the things that they were doing, man, because they were really putting their own people, the so-called Native Americans, putting their own people in slavery, child sacrifice, selling little kids for sex slaves and all that, man. Fighting amongst themselves. The Most High said that he was going to do that, man. He said he was going to put us in captivity. And, what I'm saying? If we went off from the law, statutes, commandments, man. Because if you read 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, starting at the I believe the 40th verse, it it talks, or if you keep on reading, it talks about how they set sail, or they were they set sail to a new land, pretty much, roughly paraphrasing, to keep the laws of the Most High. As a matter of fact, I don't want to misquote it, so let's get it. But eventually, over time, you know how Israel is. They went off, man. Now let's see. Right here, where it says, "These are the 10 tribes which taken captive from the land in the days of King Hosea, from King Shalmaneser of the Assyrians, took across the river as a captive. They were taken into another land, but they made this plan for themselves. They would leave the multitude of the nations and go into a more remote region where the human race had never lived." Alright, now watch this. This says, "There they would be able to observe their customs, which they hadn't kept in their own region. They went in through in the narrow," you know what I'm saying? So they went there to keep the customs, laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, YAHAWASHI, but Israel, being Israel, they went off, man, and returned to their idol worship and everything, everything else going into wickedness. So the Most High put them in captivity, man, because if you read the history of the Aztecas and the Native Americans and all the stuff that they did, man, it was a complete wickedness, man. And the scriptures talk about that, them sacrificing their kids and going around putting each other in slavery. And you even had Gad selling their own to these Europeans, man. They would put them in slavery and sell them over to the Europeans, man. Let's see. Yeah, I was going to go to the Blue Letter Bible. There's a scripture I want to remember going into that. Because they were over there worshiping Molech. Let's see, it's in 2 Kings. Okay, there's a few of them, but I'm gonna read this one. It says, okay, I'm gonna start from 2 Chronicles 28:1. It says, "Ahaz was 20 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. But he did not that which was right in the sight of the Lord, like David his father. For he walked in the ways of the kings of Israel, and made also motion images of Baalim." That's our people, man. "Moreover, he burnt incense in the valley of the son of Hinnom, and burnt his children in the fire after the abominations of the heathen whom the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel. He sacrificed also and burnt incense in the high place in the hills and under every green tree," man. So look, that's what these Native Americans were doing, man. So-called Native Americans. That's what Gad was doing, man. That's what, the Aztecas, known for human sacrifice. And doing all kinds of wickedness, man. So the Most High sent over this guy. Where's he at? This guy right here. To pretty much put him in captivity, man. You can read that in Baruch, the 4th chapter, where it says that, he had not put us in captivity to destroy us, but because we moved into wrath. That's in Deuteronomy 28th chapter. If we don't follow those law, statutes, commandments, that he was going to put all them curses on us until we be destroyed. This all happened for that reason. Does it justify Does that justify what Esau, what Esau did? You know what I'm saying? No, because Esau, he took it to the extreme. Let's see. Let me read that real quick in Isaiah 47th chapter. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High used Esau as a whooping stick. But Esau, man, he went over. He went over far and beyond. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna read this. This is Isaiah 47:6. It says, "I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst shew them no mercy. Upon the ancient as I very heavily laid thy yoke," man. And that's what Esau did, man. He heavily laid that yoke on us, took it to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? And thou sayest, "Thou shalt be a lady forever." Okay, that was pretty much the point on that. But I'm gonna read this. It's just some accounts of all the stuff that Esau was doing to our people. You know what I'm saying? So this is an article called "History is a Lie. Christopher Columbus was not a hero. He was a murderer and a tyrant." Like most people in the world today, I grew up being indoctrinated to believe Christopher Columbus was a hero that discovered America. Nothing could be further from the truth, right? So not only did Christopher Columbus not discover, come on. So not only did Christopher Columbus not discover the Americas, since it was already inhabited, and he was actually in search of India and therefore lost, but he was what could justifiably be called a psychopath, since he oversaw mass murders, tortures, and rapes carried out under his watch. In fact, he helped facilitate what is arguably the greatest genocide in known human history. You know what I'm saying? And that's them laying that, heavily laying down that yoke. Okay, they went too far, man. All right, okay, I'm gonna read this. The world might have never known about what really took place here had it not been for the investigative journalist and priest named Bartholomew de las Casas, who in the beginning supported Christopher Columbus until he became aware of the atrocities being committed. All right. So look, when you read down here, it says, in his writing, de las Casas documents how the invading colonizers brutally murdered babies, burnt innocent civilians alive, cut off the hands of workers who did not meet their quota for mining precious resources, and tortured, raped, and trafficked women, amongst other things that invariably document an undefensible genocide which has gotten far too little attention in the history books. And that's what he did, man. He did that to our people. Now, there's a part that I read that our people were doing pretty much the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but they had their own parts, or their own part in this. All right, so look, I'm gonna read this. It says, although most people would argue that the native population were savages and backwards, Christopher Columbus' journal clearly refutes these claims. So it wasn't true, man. Our people were very intelligent and in understanding and knowing things. Okay, it says, where he himself noted how remarkably kind and giving they were, how they shared everything they had, and how they had no weapons and were timid. All right, so look, check this out. Amongst his own documentation, this is Christopher Columbus saying this, of his crimes against the native population, he also documents in his own writing that they took child sex slaves for themselves, noting those from 9 to 10 are now in demand. You know what I'm saying? So that's what our people were doing, man. Committing that wickedness. All right. So look, it says, never about spreading religion. It was always about profit and greed. Although the common person would blame religion as if it was a mind of its own for these grave crimes against humanity, they were actually originally inspired by profit and greed, so it had nothing to do with religion. It was just Esau being Esau. Historically, this has almost always been the case, with the public justification being that the authorities are spreading Christianity of the more modern propaganda spreading democracy. Okay? Now check this out. I'm going to skip down right here. It says, through the inner circle politics, the Spanish elitists then contacted Pope Alexander VI from the rich and reputably corrupt Borgia family and had him give a public declaration in the name of God that they stated they had rights to take their land there and justify an invasion and enslavement of the locals through the use of politically persuasive language, of course, by making it seem like they were on a mission to help create a better world and fight evil, man. So there goes that name again, man. The Borgias. Cesare Borgia, man. And his father, Alexander VI. You know? They pretty much lied to the people and said, in the name of God, they had the rights to take that land. You know, like it says right here, and justify an invasion and enslavement of the locals. Pretty much wickedness, man. Being evil, greedy, like we just read. In fact, I'm doing that shit. So look, if you read this, it says, in fact, Columbus documented in his own journal that, should I meet with gold or spices in great quantity, I shall remain till I collect as much as possible. For this purpose, I am proceedingly solely in quest of them. In short, it was never truly about spreading religion. That was more of a cover story. It was always about profit and greed. And you know, there you go. You can keep reading on this, man. And they even have a documentary called The Canary Effect on YouTube. And you can watch it. You know what I'm saying? And they'll tell you all about that stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna get this. This is Psalms 55. Let's see. Verse 20, it says, He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smooth and butter, but war was in his heart. Now this verse right here goes into all them treaties that these so-called white people, these Edomites, made with the so-called Native Americans, which is the tribe of Gad. Well, they had many treaties that they had set up with them, and they broke every last one of them, which shows you that this goes into that, man. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Alright? And like we read in that article, Christopher Columbus himself wrote that these Native Americans, so-called Native Americans, were really nice people, very giving. You know, they didn't have any weapons and all that. You know, and then he spoke peaceably to them. Like it says right here, his words were smoother than butter. You know, but, you know, yet were they drawing swords. Alright? Now, there was another one I wanted to read. Okay. Alright, I'm going to read this. This is Ezekiel 35:1. It says, Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, which is Mount Seir is talking about Esau, you know, because that's the place where they dwelt, you know, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. You know, and it's going to tell you why. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou had not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee, man. And that's right, man. Hey, they shed the blood of Israel, man. They perpetually hated and went after us, man. Specifically talking about the Gad, the tribe of Gad, and the tribe of Issachar. I know you can't, and of course, you got the Judah, man, when they were brought over from West Africa over here to the Americas as slaves. And that was all during that time. It was all during that time period of Christopher Columbus. They all had, they were all there pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, you can keep reading on this, man, and it tells you all the things that the Most High is going to do to Esau for all those things. All right, this is Numbers 35 and 31. It says, moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, but he shall be surely put to death. So all the stuff that Esau, all the murders and atrocities and all the wickedness that he's committed, man, he's not going to get away with it. He's going to have to pay for all that. All the stuff that he did to our people. Even though our people were going off, man. But still, hey, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Going into Revelation 13th chapter. Alright? He that leadeth to captivity must be put in captivity. Okay? So this is Numbers 35 and 32. And ye shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land until the death of the priest. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So all that blood that Esau shed here in the Americas, man, he's going to have to pretty much pay with his own blood for it to be cleansed, man. You got to think about all the millions of so-called Native Americans and Aztecas that were in these regions, man. Millions and millions and millions of them. It was all Esau, man, for his own greedy, corrupt gain, for being selfish and then just wicked. He's going to have to pay for all that. All right? I'm going to get one more. This is Isaiah 3 and 14. It says, the Lord will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people and the princes thereof, for ye have eaten up the vineyard, the spoil of the poor is in your houses, man. And that's when YAHAWASHI is going to come back in his glory. The elect, those men that stood fast for the truth. He's going to enter into judgment, like it says right there, will enter into judgment with the ancient of his people and the princes thereof, for ye have eaten up the vineyard, talking about Israel, the spoil of the poor is in your houses, man. What mean ye that ye have beat my people to pieces and grind the faces of the poor, saith the Lord of hosts. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, what mean ye that ye have destroyed my people, man? Hey, Esau's going to have to really pay for all the things that this man, this man right here, as well as many other Edomites have done to the nation of Israel. They're going to have to pay that tab, all them sins are stacked up, man, reached unto the heavens, man, so they're gonna have to pay for all that. But with that, Lord willing, bless, will edify, and say shalom.